Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Revved Up, which by the way comes in very unfamiliar territories. Today we are down in Luwero, deeper into Uganda's countryside. And this is the thing, anywhere else you go, as long as it's deeper into the countryside, you will recognize more and more just how important agriculture is to Uganda's economy. Mainly because over 80% of Uganda's workforce has a thing or two to do with agriculture. But more importantly is the money. Uganda's biggest exports come from the same industry. So the big question has always been, are we doing just enough to make sure we improve our productivity from agriculture? Because unlike the rudimentary methods which some of these folks use every day on the farm, logic does suggest that the mechanized version of the industry does not only get their job easier, it also helps in increasing the productivity. So on Revved Up tonight, we talk mechanized agriculture. On the show as well, tonight, we talk about the thrills that are brought in by power and speed. We focus on a sport that is not yet very popular in the country, but without debate is growing in leaps and bounds. I'm Andrew Kabura from Uganda's countryside. This is Revved Up.
On this edition of Revved Up, Road Review, brought to you by NC Bank.
All right, just to give you a quick feel of what it is like to use a tractor on a big scale of land like this one, we are super lucky just to find the attendant here, Mr. Azikutoa, who pretty much makes sure this land is looked after, whether it's agriculture, whether it's livestock, pretty much everything. Toa, thank you very much for joining us. For starters, how important has this tractor been, but more importantly, where has this land come from to be what it looks like today?
Mr. Andrew, you are most welcome to the farm. I'm by name Azikutoa. Then I came here in 2010. I get this farm with a lot of natural forest. And there was some local cows and goats. Then from there, we started to clear the bush, or the forest, slowly by slowly. But as you know, the manpower is not enough. Then it took us a long time, like 7 years or 5 years, like that, to clear the forest. Then from there, we changed our mind from the rearing cattle and goats, we changed it to the agriculture. Then we started with the planting those eucalyptus trees, as you can see. Then after that, we came to the staff ferry. Then as per now, since in this year we get that tractor Sonalika, we see that in 30 minutes, we can work just, we finish 1 acre.
30 minutes?
30 minutes, 1 acre is done.
And how many men would you need for the same acre?
Now we can need like 15 or 20 men to finish that work within 2 hours. So it means that agriculture, it is very important to have such a kind of tractors to work in such a big land.
Just give you a couple of figures. This very tractor will plow about an acre of land using just under 10 liters of fuel and just under 30 minutes, like the man does say himself. So it's down to avoiding the rudimentary ways and definitely getting into machines if you're going to go big I mean, in agriculture. All right, so joining me now is Mr. Derek Mwanda, who is a sales executive at Motor Center East Africa, representing Sonalika, folks who are making sure these are distributed pretty much to everyone across the country that actually needs them for extensive farming. Derek, first of all, thank you very much. I'm not used to sitting in places like these ones, but first tell me, what do we have here?
This right here is a Sonalika DI75RX. It's a 75 horsepower. It's a 4-cylinder. And as you can see, it's a 4-wheel. It's pretty much strong. It does an acre in under an hour. Let's say per acre, it can consume not more than 10 liters of fuel. That is diesel.
Most folks watching the show tonight are probably thinking we've gone fully agriculture tonight. So the question I'll probably be asking is, how versatile are these tractors? What else can we use them for? Is it just take it to your farm and that's it?
These tractors are actually just like they're really multi-purpose. You just think of something and then use, implement on the tractor and then use it. For example, this tractor right here, you can put a front loader the bucket, just like a caterpillar. You can construct a road right here using that. Then at the back, you can also put a hoe, a post hole digger. We can also use them for like urban activities, like urban applications like mowing on the streets. Like you can see KCC is employing people to use their hands. That we can apply a tractor, mostly the smaller horsepowers, between 20 to 45 or 50. Can do very well with the mower, the side mowers. It can bend any angle. Yeah.
Now, of course, over the years, one of the biggest fears farmers have, or any other folks who like cars out there, is how expensive these machines are. You talk about a tractor like this one, and you're probably wondering if you will ever afford having it on your own farm. But Derek, NC Bank has stepped in, and they actually can help you finance this up to 60%.
Yeah, 60%. They give you 60%. They finance you up to 60%. For a maximum period of 5 years, and on top of that, we give you a guarantee for 2 years or 1,500 hours of operation, whichever comes first.
My friend, there you go. At the end of the day, it's about affordability, making sure you have big machines like these ones on your farm. Now, NC Bank has stepped in. On the show before, we've been talking about how NC Bank is going to help you finance up to 90% of those new cars that you're buying, and up to 100% for their insurance. Well, on tractors like these ones, they're helping you with 60% of that original cost. So you have a very big decision to make. And I think it's not even a decision. Forget the manual labor, get into tractors, mechanized agriculture. Less work, more output. Not hard to understand now, is it? All right, there you go. I think it probably was easier than I thought. Operating a tractor is not the hardest of tasks out there. So feel very free in case you need this on your farm to expand on your agriculture in terms of the mechanized version in there. Feel free, contact the Revved Up team and ask them for the presenter, because we've just discovered the presenter, who, by the way, is called Andrew Kabura, is really good. Really, really good on the farm, right?
Yeah, very good.
Thank you very much.
Car Care, brought to you by Toyota, Uganda.
Hello, welcome to Car Care for this very week, and also welcome to Toyota's Servicing Center, the very place where Toyota makes sure all cars are brought in and pretty much live in the very best of conditions. Now, what we're here really for is car care, making sure we focus on the smallest parts on your car, and sometimes those smallest parts are usually the most important as well. Now, we've created this beautiful platform with Toyota, which is Talk to Toyota. The email is t2t@toyota.co.ug. The subject is Revved Up, of which you can send us any questions, any mechanical questions, and then we shall be asking the experts to explain this. Now, as always, Fitsum, who is the training boss here, does join me. Fitsum, thank you very much. We receive a very important email this week about the most touched car part. That is really the steering wheel, because we are always driving that thing right in front of you. Now, if your memory serves you right, every morning you sit in your car and you expect to turn left and the car turns left, turn right, the car turns right. But sometimes it doesn't do that, and sometimes it's probably harder to turn. Issues we have to solve. But before we go into the servicing of your steering wheel, give us a quick scientific background. How do we make sure the driver turns left and the wheel turns left as well? What is the linkage in there?
The linkage starts from the driver, as I said, from the steering wheel. So when the driver is turning right or left, he's operating a steering box down here, which is assisted by hydraulic pressure. So that hydraulic pressure actually assists the driver to turn the wheels to the right or to turn the wheels to the left. Okay? So there are a number of shafts, hydraulic pipes, steering box, and then steering linkages that make up the system.
At what point does my steering wheel not turn left? At what point does my steering wheel get harder to turn? What is the problem?
Okay, there can be a number of cases for this. Turning to the right, turning to the left, it will definitely turn but you may need extra effort if the steering assist is not working for you. And this could be probably there is no oil in the system, or there is air in the system, something like that. Then you have other cases whereby the steering linkage must also be perfect. Okay? If you have a steering linkage which is bent, then the wheels will not be straight. One of the wheels will tend to go against the other wheel. Then you will experience a little bit hard steering, and you will see the tires are wearing very fast. So what's important here is we have to make sure that the steering system is always okay.
But here's the problem. So the thing is, most of us who have cars are always more reactionary, always rush to garages when something actually happens to our cars. The big question would be, should we reach a point when we just come to Toyota and say, check out my steering wheel and my linkage, even before something goes wrong? Or should we always wait for that? But is there simple signs that maybe you need to go for service, maybe you need to go and have this checked out?
Well, if you reach to a point of feeling hard steering to the right, to the left, which may occur, then you have gone too far. What the driver or the owner of the vehicle should make sure is to make sure that he takes his vehicle to service on regular basis. On those regular basis, we will check the steering feel, we will check the steering pipes for any hydraulic leaks, we will check the steering oil levels, we will check the steering linkage and make sure that they are all intact and in good condition. It is very important, as you know, if you're steering and the vehicle is refusing to steer,
Hey, you're in trouble now.
it's a safety issue.
Listen, thank you very much. It's a very big safety issue. At the end of the day, it is the most basic part probably on your car, because it's one you just always hold on to and take the car to where you're going. But it also needs a lot of care. Sometimes it will be harder to turn, and sometimes it will not turn exactly where you're going. So feel very free. Come down to Toyota, meet the experts. Let's make sure your experience, as always, is improved. The platform is very simple. It is Talk to Toyota. The email is t2t@toyota.co.ug. The subject should be revved up. Come with your car. Let's make sure you stay right. I guess it's not yet playtime, or I'm a very bad playmate. But that aside, let me talk about our social media. Now you can join us on our official Facebook page and official Instagram page as well. Show us your side of the story by sharing your stories about the show, or pretty much seeing everything behind the scenes. Plus, on the show tonight, like any other shows, we're giving you a chance to win big with Shell as they come into partnership with Revved Up. Right after the show tonight, we are putting up questions in relation to tonight's episode. All you have to do is go to www.revvedup.ug/quiz. Stand a chance of winning lots of prizes, and that includes free fuel vouchers with Revved Up and Shell.
Futuristic vehicles, brought to you by Shell V-Power. The Ferrari Lusso GT-C4 is perhaps one of the more unusual sports car to hit production lines. It's managed to include some of the qualities of an SUV without relinquishing its low-riding style. This sports car has 4 seats and is noticeably thicker in the rear than the sleek vehicles normally produced by Ferrari. Despite this extra size and weight, the Lusso has not compromised when it comes to power. There are 2 engines available for this model, a 6.3-litre V12 engine and a turbocharged 3.9-litre V8. The V12 engine is naturally aspirated and produces an immense 680 base horsepower that can propel the car from 0 to 100 in 3.4 seconds. The V8 is not far behind, with its 602 base horsepower and ability to go from 0 to 100 in just 3.5 seconds. But there's a noticeable difference when it comes to CO2 emissions. The V12 gives off a whopping 350 grams of carbon dioxide per kilometer, while the V8 has a much more reasonable but still high 265 grams. The infotainment system consists of one very wide 10.5-inch touchscreen, which has a control panel on the passenger side as well. There's plenty of room for the 4 passengers, and the seats are comfortably plush and elegant. The steering wheel is racing car, of course, and fitted out with knobs and buttons for the driver to fiddle with. The Lusso uses 4-wheel steering to enhance the agility and safety with which it rounds corners at high speeds. This is a car that you'll either love or hate when it comes to the unique bodywork and roaring power underneath it. However, it did win the Most Beautiful Supercar of the Year award in Paris, so its appeal is undeniable, if not immediately apparent. Unfortunately, the steep price tag, starting at £250,000, may make some of its fans rethink their purchase.
Now, you've heard of drag racing and street racing before. Now, the event we have for you on Revved Up tonight doesn't really describe both words fully, but it's the closest that Uganda can have. What the Legends Motor Club has done is to make sure they come up with folks who love speed and power. We have 20 cars today, and 18 of those are street cars. 2 are rally cars that should be coming your way, but all high-performance cars. So what these guys have done is to organize a race that Revved Up has decided to cover. First things first, we first get safe and then get to see what Uganda's first ever drag stroke street racing does look like. These guys now have a chance to hone out their own skills once in a while.
Absolutely. Andrew, you have a point. Any private citizen with a passion, with a keen interest, has a chance to hone their skills. And what I like about this arrangement is it legalizes the concept. It allows people to come and do it safely. As you can see here, we have police, we have traffic police, we have the ambulance, we have fire extinguishers. So, and there are rules. And the thing about drag racing is really you have to play by the rules.
Now that it's legal.
Now that it's legal, that it's organized, I think it will attract a lot more people who have interest and passion for driving, what we call the gearheads. It will attract them.
Didn't come out of that corner very right, did it? That's the Golf though, but most of the cars I think we've seen here are Mitsubishi and Subarus. The Imprezas are so many out of those. And most of the rally guys here and high performance folks do love them in the country.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Subaru has been very popular in the rallying circles for a very long time, and it's been popularized even with the private owners. You have a lot more people importing the Subaru Impreza, the Subaru WRX, even the B series. So one good thing about Subaru is it's affordable. There are a lot local Subaru mechanics and enthusiasts who retrofit accessories and make them drivable. But the other thing is actually with the design. The design concept of Subaru, the low slang boxer engine gives it very good balance. The aerodynamic design and the strong suspension allows, you know,
run through.
Even the street version to drive like a rally car. So, you know, and of course the grunt and the sound makes everybody just want to get out there. As long as they own one, they just want to put it out there and race it.
So what we've done, since we came to the drag races, Paul and I really want to drive these cars and compete against these guys. Yeah. But you see, the organizers have told us that only one of us can drive. Only one of us can represent Revved Up. Yeah. So do you want to drive?
Yeah, I want to drive. I only wish I was driving against you.
I want to drive as well. I really want to drive.
So what do we do now?
So here's the thing. Our producer has come up with the most original way to settle arguments like these ones. I've actually never seen this argument anywhere. This kind of thing. He says, we get a coin.
And toss.
And toss.
Well, okay.
And see who gets to drive. I think you take head.
I'll be heads.
I'll be tails.
Okay.
So whoever, you want to drive?
Yeah. Let's toss. Let's see. There you go. Heads.
It's okay, you're done driving.
So I'm driving. Yes.
All right, so that is Paul. In short, that is Revved Up. He better do very well for us today. Can I be honest with you? I really don't think Paul should have gone. I think I should have driven. And because of that, I feel like Revved Up might be the last on the log. That's what I think. All right, so Paul, my friend, the results are in.
Yeah.
How do you think you performed?
I think I was one of the best.
That's what you think?
That's what I think.
All right, so the first guy was Nico GC8. He posted a minute 59.4.
Whoa.
Yep. Then I have to really go down the list. Paul. Ah, there you are. 230.
That's not bad.
The good news is that you posted 230.
Yes.
The bad news is that you're second last.
The good news is I'm not last.
The first car was a Subaru Impreza.
And I'm not surprised it was Subaru because Subaru has excellent performance, low slang boxer engine, perfect balance. You can see how they were drifting around the bends. They had more control actually than the other cars, so I'm not surprised that Subaru was the first one.
Toyota Celica was second, and then a Mitsubishi.
The Celica had a very good driver.
Yeah.
You still remember the takeoffs? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, yeah.
Paul, thank you very much. I think we've enjoyed our day at the drag race.
I think we have.
The drag racing. The interesting thing is that we have given you guys a new experience. We've enjoyed the experience. The bad part of the entire show, the entire day, is that Paul is starting to believe that finishing second last is not bad. Yeah. But thank you very much.
Had a little fun. Cheers.
Next week on Revved Up.